Stimulus checks sending out immediately for the low income, including fixed income beneficiaries of Social Security, retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, and RRB when this happens. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. I know in this video, I do want to discuss additional stimulus checks going out to the American people, including the fixed income beneficiaries I mentioned at the beginning of this video, and when these additional checks would be going out, as a lot of people really need this money immediately. Well, I do want to talk about what is circling around out there, the ideas that people are coming up with as far as what could happen relatively soon right here in the United States, and the catalysts behind why these checks would be going out immediately for millions upon millions of Americans. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, and we can all recognize we're living through a very weird time, as it has been weird for the last few years, and realistically, it's going to be weird for the next couple years as well, as far as what we currently know as of right now. So let's get into it and talk through the details and what they're now saying. Really fast before we do, thanks so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, and I'm here for you right by your side every single day. As your one and only daily advocate, I want to keep you updated with what is actually going on and what is being discussed out there, as like I said, it's a super weird time. Things are changing rapidly. Congress is coming up with all kinds of bills, packages, proposals, money, benefits, checks, raises to benefits, programs, all kinds of things like this. A lot of stuff is changing right now, and again, I want to point it out, what is changing and what is out there you can possibly grab and or take advantage of. So again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Like the video right down below, and of course, share it with your friends, family, social media. Let's get into it and talk about what they're now saying and what would anticipate as far as additional stimulus checks going out and what would be the catalyst behind all of this. So a lot of weird things going on right now. So I've been reading a lot about this. In fact, we've been seeing this for several months now, but the calls are getting louder and louder and louder. For every day, week, and month that passes by, people continue to say, this is going to get bad. This is going to get really bad, right? So we've been hearing all these analogies, all these metaphors and things like this. Like people are saying the storm clouds are on the horizon. Have you heard that here over the last couple months? Yeah, we're starting to see stuff like this. We've been seeing this for a while now. Dark storm clouds on the horizon. Get ready, everybody. Get in your whatever. What are those things called under the ground? Cellar. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a cellar, whatever, right? Like you see on the movies, right? So anyway, I want to point all this out for you because there's some weird stuff going on, and there's likely going to be some major changes here in the United States as well as the economy as a whole. Now, one more thing I want to point out really quickly. Remember like this, and I've said this before in other videos, when it comes down to stimulus checks, what is the catalyst behind it? Is it us sending them letters, making videos, and calling their voicemails and asking Congress to approve another check for us? No, that is not it. It is all about the economy, okay? But like I've said before in other videos, and I want to make this very clear right here as well, it's all about mostly jobs, okay? It's all about the job market. Now, here's the thing. You don't need to be participating in the job market for this to matter, okay? That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm simply saying the unemployment rate, the labor participation rate, are jobs being created, are jobs being lost, the unemployment numbers that come in every single month, is that going up? Is it holding stagnant or is it going down? Where do we currently stand on that, right? These are very, very important metrics. In fact, I've said it before in other videos, this would possibly be the most important metric when it comes down to determine the likelihood of additional stimulus checks. Well, here's what's interesting about it. Now, the unemployment rate has been sitting very, very low for quite a while now, for probably a year and a half, something like that. The unemployment rate has been sitting very, very low, historically low numbers. Now, is that good or bad? Depends how you look at it. You could look at it and say, wow, it's really, really good because that means the economy is very strong. Could be the case, but it also could be a very bad thing because we look at it and suggest the only other way that unemployment rate can go is up, okay? That's the only place it can go. If it is at historical lows, it can't really go any lower, right? It's kind of stuck right there. The only place it can go is just hold steady sideways, or it needs to go up, right? Well, some of the people that are coming out right now are suggesting we could be seeing in relatively short order. Now, again, in economic terms, short order would be, a handful of months, 5, 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, something like that. That's what it comes down to in economic terms, okay? But some people are suggesting we could be seeing unemployment going over 7% relatively soon. 7.3% is the numbers I've been seeing floating around out there. Well, here's the information that I want to share with you, which is if the unemployment rate gets up to 7.3% or even somewhere thereabout, It doesn't have to necessarily peg 7.3, but even if it gets mid 6%, over 6%, even high 6% and approaching 7, you better believe they're going to be scrambling a little bit, okay? Congress is going to be scrambling. A lot of people are going to be out there scrambling because that is a very high unemployment rate historically, especially over the last few years here, with the exception of 2020. Obviously, the unemployment rate was very high then because basically everything was closed down and, people only had one choice, which was not be employed, right? So that was kind of the situation. But that was kind of a unique situation as well because, things were closed down. You can't really do a whole lot about that when whole industries are closed down and the whole economy is closed down, right? So anyway, long story short, we've seen this out of lawmakers before. In fact, let me give you a quick example. A couple years ago, we saw a group of lawmakers that came out and they wanted to implement automatic stabilizers into the economy. Do you remember this? They wanted to pass legislation that implemented automatic stabilizers. Basically, what would happen is that the whole way that they had these stabilizers set up is that in the event the unemployment rate gets to, say, 5%, a stimulus check is automatically sent out. If the unemployment rate goes up further, up to, say, 5.8%, boom, another stimulus check is automatically sent out. Another stabilizer, 6.5%, boom, there you go, another stimulus check automatically sent out. If the unemployment rate continues to go up, then again, 7.2%, there you go, another stimulus check automatically sent out. Do you remember this? This is something that lawmakers wanted to implement. They said, in the event that this happens in the United States economy, where the unemployment rate rises rapidly, we don't need to sit here and come back to the table. We don't need to come back and negotiate all the details about this. It'll already be in place. It'll be like a defense mechanism, right? Where all of a sudden the unemployment rate continues to tick higher and boom, there goes a check. Boom, there goes a check, right? There goes another check, right? So that's the whole defense that they wanted to implement through these automatic stabilizers a couple years ago. Now, let me explain the details about that. No shocker, but Congress didn't do it, right? So now, when this time comes, which it will, there will be a time, and this will happen. We're not going to be sitting in this current state right now that we've been in for a while now. We're not going to sit here forever. That is not possible. It is not possible to have an economy that just sits here like this forever. In fact, the economy moves up and down, right? It gyrates. It's, the ebb and flow of the economy, okay? The natural gyrations of the economy up and down, trying to maintain equilibrium. It goes way too high on the upside. It goes way too low on the downside. And again, it just the natural flow of the economy. Same thing, just like the ocean, right? You look out at the ocean, there's big peaks of high waves, and there's little troughs way down low. We're at the bottom of a wave, right? So literally the same thing as the economy. The economy does the same thing, and a lot of other things do the same thing as well, just like the unemployment rate. It goes very low, it levels off and goes sideways for a while, and then it goes straight up, and it goes up for a while, peaks out at the top, and then it goes back down, same old thing, over long periods of time. So when it comes down to it, the current economy that we are currently living in and what is going on here right now is not going to be the norm forever. Even though it all looks peachy and great and things are all good and people are saying, this is great, this is the best economy we've seen ever. Is it really though? Have you looked at the internals? Have we looked at the internals under the hood of the economy? Just because some meathead on TV is saying, oh look, this is the best economy we've ever seen in the history of the United States. Is that really true? Well, let's do some fact checking, right? Let's look at all the internals of the economy and see, is it really the best economy we've ever seen? Depends how you look at it. We could clearly say, well, no, not really, right? It might look good in some sectors. It might look good in some little pieces, individual corners. But if we look at the big picture as a whole, it's not as great as everybody's telling it, as everybody's saying it is, right? So anyway, comes down to it. I want to watch this very, very closely and just keep this in mind. The unemployment rate, job market, okay? And again, when I say that, that does not necessarily mean you need to be participating. You don't need to be participating in the job market. That's not what I'm saying at all. It is a big overall metric. It is an overall picture of the job market in the United States. As of right now, there's about 180 million people in the United States who are employed and participating in the job market, right? About 62-ish% or so, give or take a little bit, of the American population, okay? Very important stuff. If we see 5 million, 10 million jobs lost or something like that, and if we see the unemployment rate going up 3.5%, 4%, 4.5%, 5%, 5.5%, 6%, 6.5%, 7%, 7.5%, something like that percent, you better believe they're going to do whatever they can to get in front of that thing and to get money out into the economy to stop it as quickly as possible. But Only time will tell. We will see what happens here, but this is what I've been seeing out there. The key number that I've been seeing shown up in the headlines is 7.3%. That is where they're predicting the unemployment rate to go relatively soon-ish, again, in economic terms, okay? So we will continue watching this. I can tell you this much. If the unemployment rate goes anywhere near 7.3%, you better believe there will be money going out, okay? There is no way they're going to let it get anywhere near that without sending out checks, okay? They're going to stimulate in a massive way if it gets anywhere close to that, okay? That is the major defense mechanism, is print up money, send out checks, get the economy back. Make sense? Anyway, want to bring this to your attention really quickly. Of course, I will continue watching everything very closely. It is a super weird time right now. Things are changing rapidly. We're getting all kinds of weird reports out there, all kinds of people coming out suggesting this, that, and the other thing. And again, I'm just watching all of it closely and bringing it to you in these short videos each and every day. So again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, enjoy your day. Take care. Have a good one. Leave your comments, your questions, your feedback down below, and I'll catch you again later.